There are several complex corporate structuring analyses that may be required before carrying out foreign direct investment in China. From capital flow restrictions to tax planning, there are several factors to consider when structuring your business activity in China. One of the first considerations, however, is to consult the Foreign Investment Industrial Guidance Catalog, issued jointly by China's National Development and Reform Commission and the Ministry of Commerce, last amended in March 2015. This catalog defines a list of commercial activities as being 1. Permitted or encouraged. In such case, the commercial activity may be performed by a wholly foreign-owned enterprise. 2. Restricted, which requires a joint venture with a Chinese party, and each activity will have different requirements on maximum ownership of foreign parties, and in many cases still requires control from a Chinese party. Or 3. Prohibited for foreign investment. Depending on how your intended business is defined in this catalog, you may be able to develop your activity directly through a wholly foreign-owned enterprise, a specific form of limited liability company incorporated in China exclusively with foreign shareholders, or require a joint venture with a specific equity distribution between Sino and foreign shareholders. Also linked to these restrictions is the great importance given to business scope definitions when incorporating companies with foreign ownership in China. A company may only pursue business as defined within its business scope. So far so good in comparison to other jurisdictions. However, Ministry of Commerce will approve or not a given business scope of a wholly foreign-owned enterprise depending on the definition of this activity in the catalog as well as other requirements, namely minimum investment it may consider necessary to pursue a certain commercial activity. Restricted activities may also require further licensing and approval. For example, financial services will still require further approvals from China Securities Regulatory Commission or China Banking Regulatory Commission, as the case may be. It is then absolutely necessary to carefully consider your restrictions when entering the market and obtain qualified service providers to do so. There are several opportunities to enter the Chinese market, and it's quite often that a restricted activity may be opened first through a limited pilot program or preferential treatment for a certain jurisdiction, and a good service provider can place you ahead of the competition and the full opening of the market. A good example of this was human resources companies, which were tolerated in China due to lack of specific regulation a few years ago. Once regulation was put in place, foreign invested human resources companies were no longer in compliance with Chinese regulations. However, at the time, able service providers were successful in creating structures through Hong Kong in order to benefit from the closer economic partnership agreement between mainland China and Hong Kong. And as a result, these firms found a path back to full compliance in order to operate in China. Also experiencing a change of paradigm. Whereas for the past years, China has represented a great opportunity in manufacturing and industrial activities, more recently we are looking at a shift to services and sophisticated industries. As that shift occurs, there will be plenty of opportunity for those willing to navigate this market and place their Asia hub in China. This example and this short talk is made to increase awareness for foreign players on some of the challenges that may be found in the Chinese market, but also draw attention to the necessity of knowledgeable service providers that may be able to create structures, namely through Hong Kong or taking advantage of a pilot program, that are capable of lawfully pursuing a restricted activity in China, as well as creating a platform to develop your activity in Asia.